Hello everybody, my name is Nairi and this is Let's Face It Together, Let's Face It, and I'm a sufferer of trigeminal neuralgia and I have been for over 18 months now. So this channel is all about helping those who suffer from trigeminal neuralgia, which is a chronic pain condition, but also it's helpful for those of you who suffer from chronic pain anyway. A lot of the subjects I cover will be helpful. So today I want to talk to you about the lead up to Christmas, maybe things you can think about that might help you and things to avoid. And as I build up to Christmas myself, I know I'm going to have a really busy time, so I'm speaking to myself as well as you guys. So the first thing to say is, I think when you have lots of family around for events, maybe you push yourself harder than what you normally would because you don't want them to feel embarrassed for you if you can't keep going or for you to miss out. But in my experience, the harder I push myself, even if there are a lot of people in the house and things need to be done, then the worse the reaction afterward, the worse the fall afterward, in a sense that maybe after 2 days of being busy at Christmas, the third day I won't be able to do anything at all, and that might go on for an awful lot longer as well. So my advice to you is just pace yourself, and if you feel that you need to go off and have breaks, you need to speak to someone and say, I need to go and lie down for a little bit, or I need, a little bit of space and time to myself, then I think you should take it, because it's more likely to be more difficult to carry on if you don't. And what I find with chronic pain is that it can creep up on you gradually, so you might start to feel a little bit unwell, like you're in a little bit of pain, maybe lower level, but then when you don't do anything to deal with that, so you don't go and take the rest, or you don't go and take your extra medication or whatever it is, then I think that then it will build and build and build until you get to a stage where actually you can't do anything about it, and then you can't take part in the events at all. And also I think it's very easy as well for people looking on to see that if you're having fun and you're doing okay, that you are okay. And I think it's for us to take responsibility for ourselves and our own pain levels, and to understand them when it's escalating, and not to expect others to see when we're struggling. I think it's up to us to then take ourselves away and take the rest that we need, and not wait for others to see that, because they can't understand what we're going through. They'll never understand what we're going through. And for many of us, I know for myself, sometimes I'll put on a really, really good front. I'll be laughing and joking with everybody, whereas actually I know in my body and I know in myself that things are going downhill really rapidly, and that actually I'm not coping at all, but I'm good at putting a front on. So I'm just talking to myself as well as you. Don't put a front on. Make sure that you take time away when you need to over the Christmas period to rest if you need to do that. And for some of us who are early in the journey, I'm not early in my journey anymore. I feel like my pain is fairly well controlled, but if you're early in your trigeminal neuralgia journey, it may well be that you can't do as much as you used to do for Christmas. It might be that you have to rely on other people to entertain for you and host. It might be that, instead of 2 days you can only do one, and maybe you have to cancel some things, and that's really tough. I know that was the hardest thing that I found in the early days of trigeminal neuralgia, was not being able to do what I used to do and having a new me. And it is very much about finding your new levels and a new you and what you can actually cope with, and not being embarrassed to say that in front of your loved ones and friends, that actually you're not coping and you can't do anymore. So another thing that I would say as well, so from my perspective as well, is that when I'm physically doing a lot more bending, lifting more, so when it comes to things like cooking and bending over, opening presents, wrapping, just generally moving around in my body more, then I find that flares out trigeminal neuralgia a lot. So a lot of bending head forward, lifting, things like that will really trigger. So try to think about what you're doing and see if you can get anyone in the house to do the more physical stuff for you, so that might preserve you a little bit more, might mean your pain levels don't rise so quickly. And the other thing that I find is stress. The biggest factor in all of my trigeminal journey for flare-ups has definitely been stress, because when I'm stressed, I hold my face really tightly, and my face tenses up, and that will definitely bring on a flare-up. That might be different for you. I think it's a case of knowing what those flare-ups are, knowing what those triggers are and trying to avoid them as much as you can over the Christmas period, so that you can kind of have longevity in your celebrations. Well, I want to wish you a really, really happy Christmas and a really peaceful and as healthy as you can have New Year. And I think the thing is, if you are still grappling with the fact that you have this, then try to sit back and reflect between Christmas and New Year and think about what it is you can do, not what it is that you can't do. Try not to reflect on what you can't do, but try to think of the new you as to what you can do. There's always someone worse off than us, and there's always someone probably better off than us. So look at your life as it is now, not what it used to be. And maybe as you move forward into the new year, think about making new plans to protect your health a bit more, finding new hobbies to kind of stimulate you and keep you going, and things that make you feel happy, and just, you know, trusting God to get you through a new year. And remember that you're not alone, and there are those of us who suffer from trigeminal neuralgia, but also other people that suffer with chronic pain. Lots of people that suffer with chronic pain and sometimes don't feel they've got the support. We're all in this together, and I just wish you a really happy Christmas and a good new year, and hope that you will subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos if you haven't. It's been a long journey for me, and you'll see a change in how I was from the beginning to how I am now, and I hope that gives you a little hope. So see you on my next video. Thank you.